Fight on!
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Pac-Man Arcade. My name is Steve, and in this video we're going to be taking you through part 4 of the Miss Pac-Man Arcade. And this is going to be the memories of the machine itself. Now, truth be told, I don't have too many memories because when I was born in 1980, this game came out pretty much a year later, so I was an infant. And it wasn't until the mid-80s, when I was around 4 to 5 to 6, that my memories start to come back a little. So, with that being said, actually, before I start the memory segment, I was thinking about it, and being that my second hobby is cigars and everything about them, as far as collecting them, which I have a lot, and we'll take a look at that in another video. I thought it'd be fitting that we smoke a cigar, because within the circles of cigar smoking, a lot of the time a nickname for cigars are also a reflection stick. You reflect back on the good memories you've had and a relaxing type of experience. So why don't I now do this? So normally I smoke real cigars. This is an e-cigar that I found at a 7-Eleven. It works. The only thing is, again, I usually like the real ones, but because I'm in my spare bedroom and it's where my wife and I keep our clothing and our suits, I didn't want to really get it smelled up. So in the main kind of family room we allow smoking. In here I just didn't want to. So for this one we're going to have an e-cigar. Now I'm going to be putting whatever cigar I smoke in the comments so you can see what I'm smoking and what it's about. Now this one is it's made by Smoke NV. It's an e-cigar. I got it at 7-Eleven. It's around $8, and that's Canadian. So usually as a wrapper I opened it, and you pretty much just take the top off, and there's a punch or a hole, and you pretty much breathe in or take a drag, and then it activates, and then there's it actually lights up. So watch this. Cool. Anyways, so yeah, we're going to be doing that as well. So let's get back to the memories. My earliest memory that I had that I still remember was back again in the mid-80s, and my dad used to take my older brother and I to cafes, and being my parents came here in 76 and they married in 76 from Greece to Toronto, well, my dad would kind of just go out, you know, with his boys or whatever, just to go out to have a coffee after work, while my mom stayed home, you know, did the dishes, took care of us. And actually I had my younger brother in 86, he was born, so around that time she was taking care of my younger brother. And my dad would go to the cafes, and again it was the Greek part of town. And though he knew English okay, he felt a little more comfortable with, you know, guys that he knew and, you know, that were from the same background. So he would go to the Greek part of town, and he'd always used to take us to the cafes. And there they would have pool tables, they would play baccarat, they'd have cards, and they'd have arcades. And they used to smoke. So my brother and I used to go with them, and I remember, you know, kind of it being on the top of like a nightclub or a donut shop or something like that. And you know, he would, again, they'd be kind of a cafe, and you'd just, you know, hang out like a boys club. And, you know, my dad used to smoke and all that. So with that, you know, I saw a couple of arcade machines there. I still remember it. There was Miss Pac-Man, there was an Altered Beast with a wood grain side, and then I think there was a millipede or a centipede or a Galaxian or Galaga, something with a green theme. And a Black Knight, the original, not the 2000. So I remember that they're not really a game that I aspire to. They're good. I think this is the one I'm going to stick with for now. But I remember my dad actually playing this game. And a couple of guys that were really good would play as well. And they'd kind of gather around, and they'd have a table set up here, you know, to put drinks on, whatever. That we would, my dad would buy me like burgers and fries for my brother and I, and we would just eat there and watch. And not only that, but remember when smoking was allowed indoors, when there was a little freedom in a free country? Shit, man. So my dad, I remember there was like cigarette burns and butts just laying here, and the bar owner or cafe owner would actually have a cigar ashtray there, and kind of like, and then you'd have your beer there. And a lot of Europeans would do that, smoke like crazy and just drink coffee, because if you're European, you know people, it'd be a cafeíno, which is cafe, like it's where you just hung out. So it was very normal to us. People will, when I tell people, why arcades and wow, your dad used to take you, I'm like, back then, yeah, people used to smoke whenever, and people were outraged to hear that. Like, what do you mean your dad used to take you, smoking, whatever? I'm like, it's not a big deal, like shit. Who cares? Like, I grew up okay, maybe I would have been 6 foot, but I grew up okay playing games and violent video games. I haven't gone crazy yet. It's them that are going to drive me crazy. So, the whole smoking thing I always found to be cool. I still remember the smell, with the overall feel of that. But either way, so yeah, my dad used to play that. He used to let us play, and I didn't even know what he was doing, and the ghost would kill me in 2 seconds. But just to see that, my dad would play. Maybe that's what got me into it, seeing that he kind of approved, like he used to play. And not only that, but when he used to play, he would tell me that guys even used to gamble. And I talked to my dad a couple of days ago, and he was, yeah, a couple of guys used to gamble on pool, baccarat, cards, of course, and even video games, where they'd say who got the highest score for, the 1 quarter put in. So I just found that kind of cool, where, that was going on. So that was my kind of earliest memory, that in the cafe with my brother, and, my dad playing, and, that was just the thing to do. Like, it was just there. There was accompanied always kind of like, it was the missing staples, like the pool table, the darts, the poker table, where you played baccarat, the bar, your coffee, the espresso maker, and then a couple of arcade machines and a couple of pins. So that was my earliest, I think, recollection of all time of just arcades, and happened to be that Miss Pac-Man was definitely a part of that. The other memory I have, which is, it's funny, but I don't want to sound mean to it, but it kind of scared me for a second. It kind of haunts me still, and ideally that was, again, another coffee shop or cafe I went to. They had a Miss Pac-Man cocktail table, and my brother and I would go, or a brother or my friend and I, or whoever it was, and my dad used to give us, a fistful of quarters, and just to play while he, smoked and just had a coffee with friends of his, and we'd have a donut and we'd just eat there, like on the cocktail, whatever. So in the parking lot, it was in a mini mall, and there used to be a homeless guy, and a homeless, like, a bum. So there used to be, he was like always sitting on, like, there was a big chain that used to stop any go-through traffic to the back, and I think that's where parking for the owners. So, he would have that there, and he'd always used to sit on it and just kind of swing on this big chain, and he'd be just like singing and just, talking trash. And I remember not understanding. And I went to my dad, I'm like, why is this person doing this, or why isn't he at home, or what's he doing? And my dad would explain to me, he doesn't have a home. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And he goes, well, he doesn't have a home. He's homeless. And I'm like, well, what about his family? What do you mean he doesn't have a home? Well, I have a home. He goes, if he has a family, he doesn't talk to them, obviously, or whatever. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't someone have a home? Doesn't anyone love him? So I don't know, maybe it got to me at a young age, that self-awareness, or being, conscientious about what's right and wrong, and it maybe hit me a little. I'm like, why is this guy homeless, or why doesn't anybody love him? So I was always trying to be nice to him, though my brother and I, or a friend of mine, would kind of giggle and whatever. And I still remember there was a point that I even asked my dad, can I give him money, like, to help him? My dad's like, just be a little careful. People do whatever they need to get by, and do what they want to get what they want. So my dad's like, just be a little careful, I'll be watching you from the window, go ahead. So I remember my brother, my friend and I would go and be like, you want money? And he'd have to use the cup. And, I gave him 50 cents, which was, at that point, that's decent money for us. Hey man, 50 cents a dollar I used to give him. And he'd be like, thank you kids, God bless you, and you're good kids, and you're going to have a good life, and whatever. And you always used to sing this song. And he went like this. He'd always just sing, give me money, give me food, I take credit cards too. My brother and I would be like, what? And we'd always kind of laugh at him and giggle, and always sing that to my dad every time we needed change. And my dad's like, no, don't say that. No, you're not like that. You ain't about that life. He goes, don't be like that. And I'm like, what? Remember, the Greeks are not nice. They're very passionate and nuts. So my dad's like, no, you don't do that. I beat you. And he used to kick the shit out of us when we used to sing that. So I remember when I used to sing that, we wanted to change just to tease him in the car. And he'd reach back and be like, no, you stupid. You stupid. So I remember hearing that, and I still remember it. Like, this is what, 30 years old? Not that, maybe 25 years later. And I used to hear that, and it still resonates. And I'd laugh about it, but I still remember that, and still playing the cocktail table. And actually, I like that one better because I can reach. I was short, still am, but I can see it better. So those are the two memories that I had of it, man. And it's one of these games that, when my dad came over here a few months ago, or actually a year ago, and he played it, he was like, "Oh wow, cool!" I remember he used to play, and he used to tell me stories about, again, what I told you about, people getting in almost fights over it and betting and whatever. So it was one of those things that, one of those staple games that I had to get. I like a lot of the 80s games, but because I really never got into the whole scene till the late 80s and especially 90s. That's why a lot of my games are like fighting games, and I'm going to get into that next video. But that's pretty much it for the memories. They were fun. I know there were few, but some that are vivid in my brain and maybe subconsciously landed there with me and got me into gaming. I don't know. Because, we used to even play them when we went to Greece. They would have them in the late 80s where they got more popular for the tourists. So I always find that to be funny, just overall fun. But that's pretty much all my memories from Miss Pac-Man. Next video is going to be my wrap-up video in the complete Miss Pac-Man Arcade. It's going to be the actual gameplay. I'm not the greatest, but definitely going to be giving my shot. I have 5 lives on here. I'm going to see what I can do as far as score. If there's any memories you guys have of Miss Pac-Man or, that type of scene, let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you want to subscribe. And definitely had a good time even doing it. I just can't wait to get to the memories of the games that I have in my collection, because those are a lot more vivid. I remember them like they were yesterday, and crazy stories that you can't miss. But either way, all the best. Thanks again for checking out my channel, Top Tier Arcade. And if you ever need anything, let me know. I'm more than happy to help. All the best, and thanks again. Peace.